you so much. I appreciate you lying to me today. I want all lies, only lies today, please. I don't want anything that's not real, right? I don't want any real stuff. SPX could hit highs, bullish some months. Crypto, man. I did. I'm gonna get. Hey, hey, hey. Everything I'm saying is coming true, all right? Let's not forget that. I'm glad that everyone is here. I'm glad that people are working and rocking and rolling. XPX will go to $10,000. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think we don't need to do the stream anymore. We now know that XRP is going to 10,000, so we don't need anything else. That's it. We don't need anything else. That's it. We're all good and happy. Why bother with this life if only XRP can be 20 times the value of the S&P 500? Apart from that, apart from that, everything's great. definitely, definitely the case. Apart from that, I'm almost certain that fact, what's it called? XRP will get there. I would say fatcat has a higher chance of getting to 10,000 than than XRP. Have you noticed recently, by the way? Have you noticed recently, by the way, that the XRP crew are going? XRP is about to double. Like they're going to double now. Not like that $1,300,000 or the double. This is where we're going. Be happy. Hey, what's the theory on the alt thinking? I'm going to explain a lot of things right now. Right? I love your sarcasm. You're at the top. I appreciate it. What? There's no sarcasm. It's complete truth. 100%. It won't be 10K. It's a bug or a hack. It's definitely a bug. I was told that, right, and I've just been explaining that what's happening is that I need to be put in my place sometimes, and the way that happens, and the best way that happens, is that when I do a video, literally a minute later, someone needs to tell me exactly why I'm wrong. That's how it works. All right. If it isn't a minute later and it has nothing to do with my video, that's how you know we're in good hands. That's it. That's how it works. All right. So everyone, tell me why I'm wrong. Only negative comments. I only like negative comments on the street. Right. That's how it works. Negativity is positivity backwards. Yeah, okay. I made that up, but it sounds good. All right, let's go. Right. Now, when we look at the market at this present moment, we are in interesting times. Really, really interesting times at the moment. This looks a bit of a mess. I apologize because I've done some, ranging and whatever's happening. Let's move that out of the way. That's not important anymore, right? Shall we move this out the way? It's kind of important. Yeah, whatever. Let's just keep it. All right. Now, what's happening at this present moment is that Bitcoin, as I stated in my previous before the weekend happened and all that other jazz, and I went to an event yesterday. It was the Sotheby's sort of property event. I'll explain that after the show. Really interesting, weird stuff happened there, right? But I do need some likes, so please, if we can get this to 50,000, that would be amazing. We can get some more people coming in on that vibe. Now, where we are right now is that we've broken into and holding above the key range that I talked about, 106, 300. I said it several times before, and I said that if we close above that, we're going to be going higher, and that's where we are. What we need to do now, right? And we're getting into some interesting places, and I'll explain to you why I think this might happen and what might go on in this level. We have some key areas of resistance that are coming up, and there's key movements that need to happen. It is vital. It is vital that Bitcoin breaks its all-time high for this to continue more forward. This level here, actually, it's a bit less now. It's a bit less. I would say around the 110. The reason why I say it's the 110 because this is the deviation point, right? So what I would say, what's important, that's not the level. That's the level, right? That's the that doesn't count as what it needs to take out. What Bitcoin needs to do at this present moment is something like that. It could potentially deviate back here and do something like this and then take off like that, something like that. This is what we need now. And the thing is, I'll tell you this, right? With what's going on right now and other factors that are happening, my theory that I was talking about many, many times ago may be coming to fruition. I will say this area here will be an area of high resistance. So we could also get a rejection and a retest of this point here. So a retest of the 107, 700 around that area, then break out and do something on this level. But the key number, 110,000, let's say, yeah, where is that? 100, where are we? 110. Hello. What? Why is the whole graph moving? Oh, there we go. Yeah, between 110.5 and 110.3. This level here is a must. It's a must. It needs to break into that level. If it doesn't break that level, then there will be further continuation down. And what could happen is also is this: it could reject here and come and test the bottom and then continue in this manner for a while, right? But what I will say, and why I don't think that's happening, is that if you look at the liquidation maps, right? If you look at the liquidation maps, this range is getting tighter and tighter and tighter. That's what she said, right? And then when this range gets tighter, there's going to be an explosion at one point. I swear to you. I swear to you. I didn't mean it to come out that way. I'm just saying, right? I just heard myself. Anyway, I swear, I swear to you, I didn't mean it in that way, right? But when it gets tighter and tighter and tighter, right, there's going to be a breakout. That sounds even worse. There's going to be a breakout somewhere. You're seeing the range between 108. Good. Heard it. All right, guys, stop. All right. Anyway, all right, okay, okay. So it's gonna be. We're seeing that it's getting, the range is getting okay, the range is getting smaller. All right. It's gonna range is getting smaller. All right, and when this range gets smaller and smaller and okay, as soon as it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right? There's going to be an expansion in one way. There's no way. This doesn't sound wrong. All right, stop it. Stop it. I'm trying to give real alpha here. So by the time this range gets right, it gets more. There's going to be a breakout somewhere or other. I'm gonna get to alts. I'm gonna get to alts. Just wait. Right. Impatient. It's gonna be a breakout sometime. That's gonna happening soon. So it gives me the. Let's put this back into its place. Right. It gives me more of an understanding. It gives me more of an understanding that there's going to be a tight range that's going to be developing, right? So so if it does pull back, it'll be within that range that I stated, and it could be a rejection of this point. We have to see here what happens. Here is very, 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 very good, very key. Now if we also look, let's look at the weekly. The daily doesn't give enough, right? We see a beautiful divergence of the key midline, right? This also lines up perfectly, right? That's why I'm saying it could be something. Let's get rid of whatever that was, right? This point here also lines up perfectly with the area where this trend line is. So some form of rejection. The markets are a very synonymous in nature. I notice. Yeah, patient is going to get to alts. I'm going to get to alts. All right. This trend line, it works almost in direct confluence to this bit here. So we could see, and I would not be surprised if we don't see some form of pullback at that point. But I keep saying, and I've said it before, tap it up for yeah, please, yeah, guys, let's get it to the 100K mark. You guys are awesome. 100K keeps the doctor away. Yeah, yeah. Um, and this section here, right? This movement from this point to there will, in my opinion, if we get to that level, send us to an area between these points, right? Between the 125 and 135, around there, I would say would be getting into really overheated territories. I will say this as well, right? There is nothing stopping this going further. Don't forget this, right? I'm just solely about Bitcoin, by the way. I'm gonna get to alts, right? There's nothing stopping this. If this breaks out of this triple, there's by the divergence, then the top is dependent on some form of event happening. Then we're going into black swan territory. That's what I mean. Imagine if a Bitcoin pulls back, that will happen to altcoins. I'm gonna get to altcoins. I'm going to get to altcoins. Maybe I won't. Now you want it so much, maybe I won't. Sorry, I don't know why I just said that. I felt sorry. I got that one from my wife today, so I was just saying. But anyway, right? He's going to get to altcoins. I'm going to get to altcoins. Oh my god! And that's cool. Shut up. Get to altcoins. All right. Now, the reason why I'm also thinking that the level of expansion is going to be uh really interesting, right? And I'm going to give you some key numbers and why this the when number. Uh, uh, where was I saying? Yeah, you know what? If fatcat gets to 50 million, I'll give someone a Lambo. Why not? Why not? I'll give you a Lambo, no problem. That's my promise. Um, look like wife. And what's really important is that is the SPX right now, right? The S&P 500 is looking is tapping at an SR flip, right? It is at we are at boom shakalaka mode, right? We're almost at the crazy level uh where the SPX goes crazy. Uh, you will become a government advisor very soon, young man. Thank you. I haven't been called young man in a long time. Bitcoin seems to be pretty damn high. I'm going to get to altcoins. I'm going let do you not want to hear this cool stuff? You don't want to hear it. It's just like, yeah, whatever. Give me altcoins. And then you're gonna be like, but why is this? But why that? But I'm gonna get to altcoins. When alts. Jesus Christ. Okay, to altcoins. Altcoins, Bitcoin, moonshot. Yeah, okay, fine. I'm getting to altcoins. Anyway, once this has a breakout, we could be coming into a very interesting point here, right? And this looks like it's going to break out. It really does look like it. The market looks like it's ready. Man, I bought stock market at a very good point. We're doing really well on that kind of side, right? Now, if we go to the month level, let's go super high time frame here, right? There's something that I've just noticed here, right? And this would correlate perfectly to what I'm seeing in Bitcoin and what's happening with various other factors as well. If we draw that, right? Let's do that. And we, you know what? Let's do it as a ray. Let's do it as a ray. 1 second. I hate doing arrays. It does my head in. All right. Let's. Okay. Does this work? No, that didn't work. Let's do that again. All right. There we go. Let's do that. Right. What we're seeing is that we're coming to a key area in the SPX, right? Oh God, honestly, it's like you see, I'm doing anyway. We're coming to a key area here. This point here, in my opinion, will cause some level of pullback, and that could very well align with this area here. Somewhere in this area here aligns perfectly with where the SPX is coming. And this is in the monthly. So it could be 3, this could be 4 months, it could be 2 months, depending on where this is going. Good, good evening, fellow crypto enthusiasts. Greeting from Utah. Fantastic. Oh, that's very kind. Hello, Redemption. How you doing? Today, Junior. All right, man. Oh my God, patience. Jesus Christ, right? So that's why I have that opinion that if once this breaks through this level, right, this key level here that we're seeing at the 6,148. What the hell? Can you guys stop? I'm not going to co-host at this moment, honestly. Uh, what's the update on SEC versus Ripple? I don't know. Once it gets this area here, then we're going to see a far greater pullback. Every time it's tapped that area, we've seen a downturn in the market. So that could be the end of this. We'll see. This could be 3 months, 4 months away from where we are. Now, if we look at USDT dominance, right, and this is super duper important, right, and this is going to be really key, not only for Bitcoin but also for alts as well. This is where the important factor of all this is happening. It's very messy. I apologize because there's a lot of things going on here. In fact, should I remove this? Should I remove that line? Is it still relevant? Yeah, it's still relevant. Okay. I'll do this in a different line so we can see what's going on. It's getting a bit messy. How do I change the color of this thing? How do I change that? All right, okay. Let's change this to orange. No, let's change it to red. Can you see red? Let's go red. Right. What's really important, right, is that we are developing a channel here, right? And we are at a very, very, very key point. At a very, very key point, right? A breakdown from this point here, in my humble opinion, will at minimum test this zone. It will at minimum test this zone here. That there will show quite large expansion, not only in Bitcoin, but it also works in line with SPX. So SPX, this holds the understanding that this could break down, and Bitcoin can reach up to these levels here. Of course, it's not going to be a direct line; it will be choppy, and there's going to be further expansion on that side. So something on this. Uh, uh, is learning crypto really difficult? I'm totally new. I want to learn. It's not that difficult. It just takes a lot of practice, and you need to have the right people to learn and understand from. I'll give you one small tip on crypto: don't trust anyone. Trust yourself. Learn enough to trust yourself. That's what's important, right? And if you have any questions, I'll be here to help out as much as I possibly can. So that movement to this line, I think, is a given. If USDT dominance can break down, it doesn't hold as a support and then start bouncing up, which could also dictate it coming to this line here and rejecting, right? That's the two factors that we're seeing on that side. Now, if we get to USD to the dollar, it's doing exactly as I stated. I mean, how long have I been talking about this line? How long? How long have I been talking about this line getting to this level? It's a given. Not only is the fact that there's a debt that they're trying to inflate out of its cost. But at the same time, the Fed is looking like it's going to cut at some point, so that inflow of dollar is going to be interesting when it gets to this level here. And also, there's going to be a where you can see if you go to any one of these two. And if there's going to be a refinancing of one of the largest parts of the debts in the economy. So this will continue on, and this will bode well for all risk on assets went out. Okay. If we look at gold, look, I mean, like, I haven't changed anything. Look, you see, if you go to the previous videos, this is a little bit of a. Let me just clean this bit up here. That's not what I do. You see, exactly as I stated. So I said it was breaking down from that point. I said it would most probably come and test that zone here. It tested it perfectly, broke, and deviated back up. Now, I expect gold most probably to break back down, right? I can't see anything. If you go to one of these, right? Go to those and you'll see what I'm talking about. Go to those and you'll see what I'm talking about. That's it. That's all I have to say to you. Just go to it. Just go to it. Right? I can't tell you, but just like, you know what I'm saying. Do you get the hint? I can't wink properly. Uh, yeah, it hasn't changed. I'm changing it now. I'm changing it now. All right, I'm changing it live, live from somewhere or other. Right. So I expect this to break down further, right, and possibly retest this line. If it breaks below that, then we if it breaks below this is going down, and we'll most probably go and start to test these zones. And most probably, I would say, if we look at midwick strategy, this wick here looks, as they say in the industry, a bit dirty, bruv. You know what I mean? So they'll probably come down and, I mean, they don't say that in the industry. I wish they did, but they'll probably come down and test this area here, and then we'll see what happens from there. It's can relate to the market. That can give you more credence to the SPX going up, SPX going up, USDT going down, USDT dominance going down, and Bitcoin going up in those test these lows, bruv. Right? Test these bros. Moonpeak dead. Fantastic. I don't know what that is, but okay. Now, to alts. To alts, right? To alts, bruv. We're coming to a really interesting point here, right? I've wrote it as the boom boom party zone, right? Because, you know, there ain't no party without some boom boom. There ain't no party without some boom boom, you know what I'm saying, bro? But the reason why I drew this zone here, I'll explain that to you as well. If we expand it out, in fact, I think we could play a bit more with that. Maybe a bit more. Yeah, around the 70. Yeah, around the 70. Let's say that, right? I would say if we draw, and the reason why this zone here, why I drew this line for forever, from the very, very, very beginning, and I drew it all the way from down here. If we drew the fib from this point down to this level here, we see, look, we see the 786 tap it almost perfectly at that level, right? I'm gonna get rid of this. It's gonna get a bit messy, so I'll get rid of that, right? So I'm expecting something here. I mean, I've written the 66.15. It's been months since January. I've been drawing this, right? Since January, we've been here. But what we could do, let's make that a bit cleaner. In fact, right now, what we need to understand is that there's two scenarios, in my opinion, that we have here. Two scenarios. One, here being the 718 is the area where we see a breakdown. Usually, usually, why I don't think uh this level will be the area. We'll get some form of re, you know, rejection from here, some form of rejection. But I think that rejection will be more in the nature of possibly Bitcoin rejecting from this downward trend line, right? But what we could see it here, but I don't think so, and I'm going to explain to you why. I believe that here it will be the area around the 68% level. I like to take the mid range of a golden ratio box, right? The reason why I say that is that Bitcoin dominance only really has a proper effect, an interesting effect on the market, something that actually has real level of effect on the altcoins that everyone is looking at, is when it hits and breaks above all-time high and breaks into crazy levels, right? When it starts getting to these fully over fill CME gap from last week. Could be, yeah. We'll look at the CME as well, right? We'll look at the CME as well. That's a good idea. Let me just put this here. Forget that, and I'll look at CME. Where is the CME? There we go. Look at the CME gap. Um, Bitcoin needs to get to these levels before I see any level of alts doing anything. And the reason why I say that, and the reason why, oh my god, just honestly, why do I keep doing that? The reason why I say that is because alts need new liquidity. Alts need risk forward liquidity, not just liquidity, right? And I'm going to get to liquidity in a second as well. And that, in my opinion, will happen when there is a rate cut. A rate cut is going to be extremely important. These nuts. Rate cut is going to be extremely important for this market to really show some level of movement forward. And I think that when Bitcoin gets to these levels here, and when the rate cut is, and I think by the next Fed, he's going to be indicating that a rate cut is coming. I would be unbelievably surprised if that's not the case, right? Some rate cut is going to be coming at that level. When that happens, then I would say, forget September. September, I'm almost certain there's going to be a rate cut. Forget that, right? That, in my opinion, is coming. Is what they say in July is like a rate cut. People don't care about the cut; they care about the run up to the cut, right? And that's why I think September, maybe could be, because this can move a little bit. You know what I mean? They can play around with this thing. If we can, let's move this down. Whatever. It could be that it could work in there with that aspect, and I think that there could be the party zone where things can actually really work, because Bitcoin has hit its all-time high. We have liquidity in the market with a rate cut coming, and at the same time, we will see we'll get such an overheated Bitcoin dominance. It will be so overheated, right, that the move will be some form of alt season, some form. And what's really interesting is that we're getting to the same levels as before, right? We're getting to the same levels as before. And that's where we would see a super sharp, crazy move in the market, which could not only work with this double bearish divergence. That move from there to there could take months to get to that level, right? And all that type of stuff. Will Trump's agreement with NATO change anything in the market? That's less so. That's not that important. Now, oil, don't care anymore. It doesn't matter. Guys, I'm not going to do honestly, I'm not going to do a whatever. Anyway, now if we go to ETH is an interesting one. ETH is an interesting one. ETH needs to break back into this level. It really needs to break that into that level. That rejection there is not good, and could mean some more problem for the alt coins, especially if this level here is confirmed as a. I told you. Look, I did. Remember, I told you. I remember. I said I'll say it here as well, right? I'll say it here as well, and I said it in the group, and you guys can understand. We did the. I talked about it in the pro group. You guys should check it out, and I explained it there, and what we said happened accordingly. When there is, good evening, my boy. Good evening. When you get crosses like this, right? It acts like a magnet in the market. It really acts like a magnet in the market. What happens is that when that cross happened there, it will pull the graph usually to the actual line itself. But there is a lot of institutional buy going, which means that they ate it up at this support level here. It usually pulls it down. Now, when you look at the other way around, where it looks like there's going to be a cross here, it looks like, oh God, where are we? It looks like the 21-day EMA is going to be crossing over the 200-day EMA. That cross there is a big cross. And what happens is that as that's coming down, ETH rallied into it. It rallied. It usually drags it up like a magnet. That dragging up of that magnet there. Let me just put this down here. Usually then is carried on with some pullback in the market here. If this level here does not hold the 2,415, and it looks like it's developed a higher low, it confirms a higher low. Let's look at on the weekly. What is it looking like on the weekly? Yeah, if it confirms a higher low, then we could see further pain in the market. We could see. It's very possible we could see some further pain in the market. Let's see if this holds. We want the day candle to close above this point, and that could give some level of credence to possibly a tap, because these things can do these taps like that, right? Hopefully, that's best case scenario on this. We'll see what happens, or there could be some further test, possibly to try and take out, possibly down to here, possibly around to the 2,200. I don't think so, but we'll see. Because what I'm saying is that we have positive momentum in the market, and that positive momentum can change these moments very, very quickly. If you look at the ETH Bitcoin, it's like, yeah, it's quite obvious it's losing that level. It almost tapped that level that we stated, and it could come down and possibly try and test that. Most probably could come and test if things get very bad to that point there. Usually the mid level, it works in line with also the previous level of support there. So this thing could come down to this level here. Interest rates for mortgages and business loans are the same. There are different levels of risk. What? Okay. Okay. Now, if we look at this is why I also think that it's ultra cooked. If you look at this graph, right, I'm going to show you something really cool. And if we get there, I'm going to say this straight away right now. If this line gets here, I'm buying altcoins aggressively. Aggressively buying altcoins. Because the last time it tapped there, just so you guys understand, the last time it tapped there, it saw massive growth, like massive. We're talking about massive growth from that point there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That, though, unfortunately, could give some level of understanding that if Bitcoin dominance has to get to these levels up here, then this looks like it's a possibility, which could mean what type of percentage are we talking about here? A 15% move. What's lagging? Is it lagging? Are we lagging? Are we lagging? No? Yes? Maybe? It's good now. All right, cool. That can give confidence to that, so we could see some level of. You need to be super imaginative to see those lines. Why would you be imaginative? It's just the TA. It's fine now, better now. Okay, yeah, it can happen. Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting point. Remember that. Remember this graph. Try and draw it out to this line here. Right there. Right. If we, where was I? If I match it, if Bitcoin dominance needs to get up to here, which will mean the old school have some more potential down. Where are we right now? Some potential down point here, and that's where I was. We'll say that would be an interesting line for me to here, right there. There. Just draw this graph. Just it's really easy. Just total 3 to Bitcoin USDT. You can draw it yourself. There you go. I'll leave it to you. There. That trend line. What's lagging? I don't know. Is this lagging or is this lagging? Which one's lagging? Where are we lagging, bruv? TikTok's lagging. Really? Damn. I don't know. I don't know why it's lagging. I can't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Na 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 na. All right, cool. Whatever. Right, cool. So what I will also say, and this is also important, right, is that there's a lot of talk of M2 money supply and Bitcoin, right? The comparison between the two. I'll just bring it in here, right? M2 money supply and Bitcoin. What people really don't understand about M2 money supply, and this is really important, and I'm going to give you guys a bit of an understanding on how this works. What's important with M2 money supply is not where it's at, because you'll see a lot of like it. Sometimes this industry really does my head in, especially when it's people that don't have any idea what they're talking about. It really grinds my gears, right? This gap between the two isn't Bitcoin gaining to that level. It's not like, oh, it's going to get there. What's important about M2 money supply and what you should take from M2 money supply is the angle of M2 money supply. Are we going up, bruv, or down, bruv? That's the way to describe it. Up or down, bruv. By the way, if anyone wants to see, you can check out here. Right? Is it up, bruv, or down, bruv? Right? And it looks like it's up, bruv. And up, bruv means good for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin means that there's liquidity. It's always lagging. I switch over to. Is it better on the YouTube? Is it better on the tube? Is my internet lagging? Wait, am I losing my mind? 1 second. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna test my internet. Internet test. No, that's not how you do that. Speed and Z. Speed test. There we go. What's my speed test? Oh, it's 100 megabits a second. And what's my 100 megabits is pretty good. Yeah, my upload is there's something going on with the internet. Oh, I don't know. Whatever. It's England. Give me a break, right? So what's important with this is that it's on a upward trajectory. Upward trajectory means good. It means that that there's an increased level of. Therefore, you disagree with Alex. That on the Waco face, the complete bottom is in. No. Now, why would that be Twitter? Yeah. No, not necessarily. I don't. No. What are you talking about? No, I'm not. I'm not describing that at all. I don't think you listened to what I said. No, I said that we're coming to. You mean I agree, not disagree. Anyway, whatever. Where was I? What did I just? Where did that thing go? Ah, here we go. I didn't see lines you drew, right? Okay, yeah, there we go. No, I agree. Now, yeah, so we're going to be sorry, I'm just trying to screen. There's so much stuff. So it's upward angled. Upward angled is good. Upward angle means that there's an increased level of liquidity coming into all markets, which is a good sign on a lot of things. By the way, on the, what line to write? Oh, all right, I'll show you here. Just draw this for yourselves, right? Draw this for yourselves. It's really just right. It's the total 3 against Bitcoin. The line is here. If it gets down here, I'm a net buyer of alts aggressively, because it does work in line. If that needs to get there, if you look at Bitcoin dominance, which needs to get to these areas, they line up pretty much perfectly, which means that they could be getting to a very interesting point in a lot of things. But I really do believe that Bitcoin, yeah, getting into these areas there. You can watch the recording. The recordings are happening, so you guys can see what happening there. Right, I'm gonna get to some interesting other things as we go along. That's that. If you look at total two is still on a downward trajectory, but it's still holding its baseline. If you guys are into Wyckoff, where it's holding that key level there, super duper important. But we still have to understand that we are, if we go trend is your friend aspect, we are still on a downtrend. Let's not forget this aspect here. Can actually play that a little bit more. Let's do something like, no, that's lazy. There we go. There we go. All right, so it's still on a downtrend. As I said, trend is your friend until it's not. So we have to understand that it's come back, tested this key level here. Let's see what happens. It's looking like there is a cross that's happening here, which could mean that it could come down and potentially test this area here, which will probably be the midweek trajectory, which is at the 1.04 trillion mark. Let's see if this could turn around all of a sudden. I don't know where the liquidity is going to come from, but we'll see what happens on that side. If you look at total 3, it's still it ain't great, bruv. Total total 3 is not great at all. Like it's not in a good position. It looks like there's going to be further downward movement. I mean, did I draw that yet? Well, I didn't even reach that level, but it went in the direction, and then it's starting to go down. The level you need to look for that is, it must not pass that. It must not pass that, because that could cause some real problems for altcoins, and it could potentially go all the way down to the 684, which could potentially work in line with the ETH Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. We'll see, but I have a feeling that if it does come down and test the zone, this will be a really interesting bounce zone for alts on that level. But right now, focus is Bitcoin. Bitcoin needs, look, I'll tell you one thing, right? And I want everyone to really understand. Why did I do that? I want everyone to understand that. If Bitcoin cannot get above, if Bitcoin cannot get above the 110, 3 to 5, that level there, all of this other stuff doesn't matter. I think it will, because SPX is looking like it's going to come and try and test this level on the monthly, right? We're talking about 2, 3, maybe 4 months to that level there. And it really does look like it's coming to those levels there. Look, there's more areas of confidence on that level, on that aspect. Now, if you look at Bitcoin, the CME, where is the CME gap here? You're talking about this thing here, between 92 and 91. Possible. It's possible. It is a possibility. That area there could definitely be tested. I'll tell you, it's not always the case that the CME gap is tested, but it's possible. I mean, technically, if we look at this thing, I mean, let's draw a graph of what we're looking at right now, right? No, why is that not moving now? Right, it's possible. Look, I mean, it would be I think it's unlikely that it will get there. I really do think it's unlikely it will get there and try and break that CME gap that's developed. I think I think a lot can happen before it needs to get back there. Remember, this CME gap was here. Let's do it that way. Remember this the big CME the gap that came and got filled in the end, but don't forget how long did it take for this to how long did it take for this to be filled? 170 days, 3 months. It took 3 months to get there. All right. So if we're looking at that same level, say if we did a 3 month period from here, I know this is very lazy the way that we're doing it right now. If you look at a 3 month period, a lot can happen within that period. A lot can happen there. I still think expansion onto the upside, right? 3 months sounds about right, actually. Sounds like we never have a full bull run during this alt season. Any chance we'll get a bear market already for? I think we're getting into a key point to be able to buy alts at an amazing price, right? Because don't forget, like I mean, if we factor in everything I'm saying with the macro conditions and what's talking on what's happening, I think we're gonna get some form of alt season, at least some sort of bounce that will hold a key level, because look, we're going to be getting some real liquidity into the market. At this present moment, I see no reason for the market to retrace. None. What reason are we talking about right now? What reason do we have? All right, both macro, micro. What do we have? Show total 3. Where was my total 3? There we go. There's total 3. What reason do we have? By the way, this is all recorded, so don't worry about it. Right? What reason do we have? Oh, something really interesting. Right? Check this out. Check this out. This is kind of cool. I just remembered now. All right? This is really interesting. If you look on the monthly, check this out. We're also verging on a triple bearish divergence on SPX as well. But what's super interesting is that we're getting full blown divergence on the MACD. This is interesting. This here is an interesting state of affairs. I think that there is a given. I think there is going to be extremely important, and some form of larger. And look, also say this, right? And I'm giving you all the bad so you can understand. Be prepared on what's going on. Hello, Drake, and how you doing? And guys, share and stuff, man. Get some more people in here. What's also really interesting is that this doesn't mean that it's over and it goes down forever, right? This could, because I'll say this as well, right? Markets hate inefficiencies. It hates it. Absolutely hates inefficiencies. And if we look at it on the monthly, this breakdown here, tapping of that and testing of the mid of this wick, because that wick is disgusting. That is a disgusting wick, right? Eventually the market will pull it back to this point here again to retest that point there. That I'll promise you. So a tap of that and then a breakdown is quite a possibility, and all the time scale and everything else seems to be coming together on that level. Now let's get to some cool other things. Right, one thing I will say, and I want everyone to understand, I'm going to be talking about this because, hey, I've partnered up with these people and I'm trying to get you guys to really understand the use The lag is bad now. We're going down again on all levels. Is the lag still bad? Why am I lagging? I don't quite understand why I'm lagging. And maybe it's a crypto thing. You guys, is it the same on the other channels as well? Are we lagging here as well? Guys, can you on the UB and the X and Z, is there any is there any lag there at all? Are we getting anything there? Anyone? Anyone? Voodoo economics? Anyone? YouTube. Okay. All right. Cool. No, no voodoo economics. All right. I'll also say I'm gonna bring these guys in again. All right. TikTok on, yeah, it's a TikTok thing. Bello Baba, right? I've just opened up an account there, another one, right? And I opened that up in Switzerland. Literally, I've opened up in Switzerland. Voodoo is good. Yeah, yeah. So I'm now, without being a resident in Switzerland, have a Swiss account. And what's really cool is with this, right, is that you don't have to do a full blown KYC on it. You can do a quick registration, which I will show you guys. I'm going to do a bit of a thing on the these lagdies on the TG, so you guys can see how it goes through and how everything happens on that side. So definitely check this out. People, this is only open for 1 month. I just want everyone to really understand that. After the month, you're going to have minimum requirements to open up a account here, and they're fully regulated. They work with Amex, they work with Mastercard, and they work with Visa. You can't get safer on that level. There, and most importantly, you'll be able to get a non KYC card coming very, very soon by the end of the month. That's why they want it by the end of the month. The utilization of that is going to be epic. Check them out. Now, the really, really cool part. The really, really cool part. What card is that? It's from the account. It's Bello Baba. It's actually in the useful links in the Learn by Alvarez. Now the really cool part. Now the really, really cool part. Right? There are many moments in this time, right? Where projects can develop something on the scale that fatcat has developed, right? And I want you guys to really be understanding of this. I know not only that, I've had a really interesting talk with a few people that hold very large spaces, right? Can I transfer money between countries? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Sorry, I missed the name of the institution. Come to my TG and you'll all be there. The links are all there. How does it work in Texas if you have an account in the EU and live in Germany? It's borderless. That's what private banking is, Philip. That's what private banking is. Now, if you get to the fatcat and you press this button here, it takes it somewhere. That is slightly amazing. As of this morning, the fatcat aggregator is live. You can swap anything to anything, including featured fatcat. Oh wow, there's no roots on that one. Oh, because it's like $200,000. That's why. That's why. All right. Okay. Cool. I get that. I was like, what? And I was like, all right. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe not $200,000 worth. But yeah, there you go. And look at the fee. Honestly, it is a joke where you'd be able to cross chain swap to fatcat through ETH, and this is the lowest fees you can have to cross chain swap into anything. Let's not forget this, right? Into anything, not just so if you have any let's say dead memes, it might be interesting to be able to utilize this. and get it into fatcat, that could be you're not showing your screen. Yeah, if you go to these, you can see it. TikTok is very, very serious about sharing streams and don't be Calvin. You know, you're reach face blue star eyes face blue. What? Don't be Calvin Hill. We know you are reach. Hey, look, Calvin Hill is a unique individual in this world, right? And I would only be proud to have indicators, ribbons as good as his. All we do is develop a full blown aggregator on a multi-chain aggregator. That means you can swap any coin for any coin at the lowest fees, half the fees of Phantom, and be able to buy fatcat from any chain you want to. It's the only thing that we've been able to do. Something really small, obviously, nothing huge, but like, you know, it does the job, bruv, in it. So you guys should check it out. Check it out. Test what to do. It doesn't, as I said, that none. It doesn't have to be into FATCAT, but it would be great on that side. The connection is in and out. Is it here? I think it's something to do with TikTok. I don't know what's going on. TikTok has been being laggy. You guys can check out in any of these ones. These ones work perfectly fine. It's got nothing to do with me. It's to do with TikTok itself. So yeah, go check this out. See what it is. It's super duper fast. You see it. It's that it took all of what, a second to move it in that way. No, I mean, you put transfer 100. Yeah, I know. I was like, why can't it find? I was like, why can't it find a connection? Ah, because it's $105,000. Oh my god! Imagine the candle on that connection's going. Yeah, so that is it. I mean, it goes through 40 different chains, 42 different chains you can access from, and literally look at this thing. Please look at this thing. Name me a project that has done this. One, anything to anything. Honestly, let's do that, and then maybe not. Let's not do that. Let's do it to so right. Anything to anything. Anything to anything. Within 32 seconds, it's done. Going connections going in and out. Yes, I know. I know. Check out the other bits. They're here. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. I have absolutely no idea what's going on with TikTok. I don't get it. I don't get what's going on there. But if you guys check it out there on that side, and that's the situation was what's going on. So yeah, check this out. Super duper cool thing. It's live, and what's really really amazing, and this is what's really cool for people that are in this in FATCAT themselves. All of the fees, every single penny of the fees is going to be going into FATCAT. Great job, bruv. You know, one thing I will say to everyone, and this is the thing that I want everyone to really understand, is that everything, and I mean everything that I have stated, absolutely everything. I'll just copy and put it here for people who want to check it out. Everything that I've stated, everything this project has talked about, they've done. We're verging onto full blown end game, guys. Yeah. Now, let's put this to the side for a second. What do you want me to look at? Do you want me? I'll look at a few tokens and a few things that we're talking about, and then we can see and go off from there and understand what's happening. Actually, what is our Sui doing like? What's our Sui play doing like? Stupid. It's not back into range. But still a nice little small play that we did. Let's get rid of that. I think it's still possible that this thing can go down there. I really do think so. This is a play that we got in. I don't have enough technical understanding to understand what this does exactly. Do I connect my what? All right. So the way this works, right, everyone, the way this works, if you're in a Phantom wallet, you go through your internal internal explorer. Just go here, and then you'll understand all how that works. You just connect it and switch according to you want to. If you're in any of the other ones or any other aspects, it can work from there. You can even connect 3 if you want to, where if you want to swap from, say, a wallet that can't hold Solana, but you have ETH, only ETH wallet, then you can connect an ETH and a Solana. So what it will do is it'll swap the ETH into to say fatcat that's on Solana, and then put it into the wallet that's only Solana possible as well. It is a wild thing. This thing is wild, right? It's not. It's a wild, amazingly developed project. It's incredible, right? I don't want to say it myself. It's absolutely incredible. That's that situation, right? Where are we talking about? Yeah, so if we on our pro group, there was a short that was developed on here. I still think if we look at the 4-hourly, it is, oh man, it is hairy right now. It is very hairy. Let's look at what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin looks like it's going to be moving up. This might be I mean, we did a little bit of a play down to here, to the 2.586. I thought it would go down more, but I think Bitcoin's not playing ball. I've got a feeling. I will say this, right? If Bitcoin can close above the 108.283 or come and test that zero zone there, we're going to be good for the day. But I think the Suyu thing might be a close for this present moment. We'll see. I still think it's going to go there. I really do think that the 2.49, 2.5 area is a given for this to test. I'm going to keep open. I got a feeling this is going to come down to that area there. That could be a potential short. Right. What are we looking at? What coins should we look at right now? Tell me what we should be playing with. What coins do you want me to? I'll look at two more, and we can go from there. I'll look at two more. What coin am I looking at? Please, everyone, ask me what you guys want me to look at. No? Sol. Let's look at Sol. Let's see what Sol is up to. Oh man, look at that. See, look. This is not you see that, now you understand. Like it tapped that level, and I mean perfectly. Damn. They tapped that. Look at that. Absolutely perfectly tapped that level. Perfectly tapped that level. Now, what it needs to do, I would say, is if it can regain error. If it can regain the, oh god, it's very close right now. If it can Sol looks good, Look, if Sol can regain above the golden area, I'm not going to say the golden box. That's what she said, right? The 142. If it can gain above, let's say 140. If it stays where it is, right? If it can stay above this box, it's very tight. Anyway, 142.67. Whoa! Did someone just buy? That's hilarious. Do you see that click? If it could stay above this level here, this will be continuation. This will be further continuation up, and will most probably test this area here. It will retest that trend line. I mean, trend line's drawn in a bit of in a lazy way, but yeah, it'll most probably, it's probably on the daily it works. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. It'll most probably come and test this zone here, 144. It'll probably come and test it for 144 if it closes above the top area of this box, which is at, give or take, 142.70, something like that level. All right. Anything else? Anything else? You want Jupiter? Do I have Jupiter here? Oh, you want Arrow? Sorry. Mac asked about Arrow. Do I have Arrow here? Where is my Arrow? What about you? Yeah, I know, but I asked your. I don't look at two at the same time from the same. But someone else asked me about Arrow. Where's my Arrow? Can someone see the Arrow? Ah, there we go. Arrow. Uh let's check fatcat. Fatcat chart is holding well considering the market. Fatcat is doing amazing for what we're building and what we're doing. You can see that it's not a normal. Look, and I also say this about fatcat, right? I had a really amazing talk with someone today. They're one of the largest AMA spaces in X. Real followers, real people. We're going to be doing something very very cool with them soon. Watch this space. There's a reason why I'm pushing hard on X, and the reason why people there are following me. Make sure that all the interactions and what I post and what I do there is high, because it's going to be really really important for the future of fatcat on that aspect. Now, if we look at Arrow. Uh, let's get rid of this. That. Uh, Look, Arrow looks like it's coming to a bit of a golden cross here. I remember what I said to you guys about golden crosses, right? Remember what I said. Did anyone remember what I said about golden crosses? I'll make this into a little. I'll try and do a little bit of a teaching note at the end of all of my streams. What did I say about golden crosses? I want to see if anyone's listening. Anyone listening? No, no one's listening. All right. Okay. What I said about golden crosses, right? Is it this looks like it's about the 21 days about to cross the 200-day MA, right? And the 200-day MA is flattening out, and it looks like it's about to rise in line with the 21-day MA. When there is a cross of a lower time frame, works like a magnet. Yes, perfect, perfect, Mas. When the lower time frame EMA crosses the larger time frame EMA uh, from a position of weakness to strength, it will pull the graph down, right? Now that because this is alt, I would be surprised if it doesn't come and try and test 200-day EMA, which will work in line with possibly a possible cross, right? The problem is that sometimes these don't cross, right? They tap and they break down, right? That's the probabilistic situation of all crypto. What I will say here is that the level it's at, it's super duper important. To me, it has a higher chance of it coming to tap the 0.764 and then take off from there. Because if it closes here, is this on the day? Yeah, it's on the day. If this closes here, we would have, I mean, it's a deviation at the top, like lower high, but also a higher low. And what this creates, it's a bit weak. There's not enough connection to the trend line for it to be a real understanding of what's going on. But if we look at it like that, right, and let's say that looks more, that would make more sense if it does do that, right? Let's say something like that, right? If it taps that area there and deviates and goes back up and then goes back into range, I would expect. See, this type of structure, graph structure, means it can go either way. It can go either way. There's no real understanding of which direction it will go. But I do believe that this area here is going to be a strong area of support. It could be an area of support. But if this doesn't cross and then breaks down like this, which is a possibility, it's definitely a possibility, right? This could go down and possibly retest the lower levels here. The line in the sand for Arrow is 0.69, let's say 2. Yeah, 692. I always like to give a bit of breathing room, right? Let's see. This point at the 0.7123, that's again, play it cautious. That's the area it needs to bounce from. And you can see it, look, it's slowly coming down to that area there. We'll see it a reaction around that point there. It could also, because I've just created this zone, but I think that's going to be a very key point for it to bounce. All right, if it can come and then because this is somewhat of a trading range. Where are we here? Right. If we create the trading range, yeah, there we go. We in the trading range. Would that be the trading range? That would be the trading range. Yeah. Within that level there, somewhere between there, it's hard. This is more of a box range in the bottom, but around that area there, right? Around that area there works also in line with this level. That's important. What it will need to do is regain. If it breaks and taps this area and holds that as support, it regains above the level that we've said. It has to regain above the 0.7917. That area there needs to be regained. I mean, this in essence, let's do this as a box. It's more of a box than anything else. All right. Let's do that. Let's be cleaner because it could bounce from here as well. Right. If it, I assume it's going to come and try and test that area. It has to then come and then settle above the zero point 0.8. Let's be clear. The 0.8, 0.81, and it has to hold this level by the end of the day at 0.785. If it doesn't hold that by the end of the day, it will most probably come down and test this zone here at the 0.759 and then go from there. We're talking about ultra short-term plays, but I got a feeling you guys are a bit. Is Mastercard going to use the link? Yep. What do you mean? What is the Mastercard going to use the link? If you go there, I've posted all the details of the Neo Bank there. It's a really cool thing. As I said, I've opened up an account in Switzerland, and I don't even live there. This is being able to access private banking is very, very difficult. You usually have to be in the millions of dollars to even get close to that level. So watch this carefully, right? Watch this carefully. It looks like it's holding that level there. If it breaks below it, as I said, that's the level I would be very curious to see. I'm almost certain that there will be some sort of level of bounce there. What are we looking at here? What I don't like on the 4-hour though is that it's settling underneath the 55-day EMA. That's not great. That's really not good. But let's see. Let's see how it reacts off that point there, and we can go for it. If it breaks that, then you see the level, right? The level is 0.7122. That's there. I would be surprised if it goes below that, and that would give more credence to that. So first level, second level, third level. That's where we go. Yeah. Does that help? Is that interesting enough for you guys? Remember, level by level is the best way to play this market right now. You have to be trading this market unless you see a bigger pullback. All right. If we see this thing, it's too low at times, man. All right. If we see Bitcoin come back and retest this level here, possibly further down to the mid level of the line, right? Around that level, around the 105, I will be buying. That's what I would be buying, right? How do you create these levels on trading? I will be at one point soon be doing I don't like the word training sessions with people, right? With a group of people, and I'll explain to you how I've done these levels, how these work, where the liquidity is, look at what kind of techniques you can look at. There's a short term technique that you can do with these opening times and all that kind of stuff, right? There's a lot of things that can be done, and I'll explain those things. So just make sure you follow, make sure you press the likes on all the other channels as well. It helps a lot, so we can get more people in here. Sometimes the questions that you didn't know you need to ask were can be asked in that manner, right? That's about. Oh, you want to look at Jupiter? Let me look at Jupiter, and then I will move on from there. I don't think I have Jupiter on Jupiter. Do we have the dollar? Let's see that. All right. Okay, let's look at Jupiter. God, that graph look all the alts look so terrible. Now, what's interesting about let's look at the higher time frame first. Cool. Hmm, there we go. Right. Um, interesting. It's technically a break of trend. It's technically a break of trend that we see here, and it's a good break of trend as well. All right, that's a good break of trend as well. That is a very cool graph structure, right? So I just want everyone to really understand that this is a very, very cool graph structure. It gives me kind of market making vibes, but whatever. It's a cool market structure right now. If this holds, basically, if this level holds, did you post a link for Balbo? No, it's gonna be in. Yes, if you go to the useful link in Learn by Alvarez, you'll see the link will be there. Um, uh, this is a really cool thing, right? If this holds, and it's looking very, very, it's looking a bit dicey, right? It's a bit dicey, and it doesn't look like it's holding. To be honest, if you look at this level, oh, that's not good, right? This is the thing, right? If it can gain that, if it can gain above this level, big expansion. If the more it settles here, we're gonna go break back down. All right, that's it. That's what you need. That's what you need to know about this, right? Because where it's sitting right now ain't great, bruv. It ain't great. This looks like further. If I had to, I would say further downside on this. Oof. That's a hard. This is a hard one. Look, I really like the fact that it's deviated back into testing of the trend line. That's a great thing. Super duper important. That's great. It needs, look, simple as that. If it gets above the 0.4s, let's be 0.404. 0.404. If it gets above that, that's a great longing opportunity. If you're feeling risky, you can try it from here. I wouldn't. I wouldn't try it from here. That's hella risky because that looks like a rejection to me. It looks like it's settling underneath the key level, which ain't great, bruv. All right, which ain't great. But I got this looks like it could be some further downward movement. Yeah, and it could, if it does go midweight strategy. This is how you do midweight strategy, so you guys can understand. Get the fib, do it from the top to the bottom of the wick. Open that up. Get this thingamajig. You can tell why my wife married me. You can tell by the way that it works. All right, put that there. Look for that level. 0.3361. If that rejection starts breaking down, that would be the level that I would expect this thing to come and tap. Oh, Sue looks like it's going. Cool. Yeah, there we go. It looks like it's rejecting off that key level. I retested the underside of that level of support. I'm still, as I said, I'm still holding for this thing. I think the 2.48 is there. Again, these things were given in the pro group in the TG, given a long time ago. You guys can see there. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that's there as well. I talked about the pull down and all that kind of stuff. This is my personal one. There's three more traders there and a whole bunch of things. You can check that out. Link in bios. You can see from there. All right, guys. Absolute love. I ran over already. You guys are incredible. Check out that one. Definitely, definitely check out not this. Don't check that out. You can check this out as well, but check out the fatcat aggregator. It's amazing. Check it out. Test it. It's such a cool thing. It's worth a test. As you can see, what it is. It helps, not only helps that, it helps the project. If you're thinking of going into fatcat, go through here. If you're in fatcat and you want to DCA in, check this out and work on those kind of things. Right? Check those out. This is all that kind of stuff. All right, let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. All right, guys, absolute pleasure, love, affection. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the hearts, all that type of jazz. And we will catch each other later. All right, take care, guys, on TikTok. Cool. All right, you guys on here. I will be saying, make sure you definitely check this stuff out. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you follow me on YouTube as well. YouTube is really, really important because the more we get followership there, the better that stream will be. The majority of the users of that kind of stuff is in that direction. And hopefully soon I will be producing some longer form content, so you don't want to be missing that aspect as well. Also from when I get at the end of this live, I will be announcing who the winner of the previous stream was for the follower in on the YouTube. So someone there will be winning $50 on that size. All right, guys, don't forget love, affection. Make sure you check out the fatcat swap. I will be doing a lot of this. In fact, I'll be buying some coins from now on this, and guys can see from there. All right, appreciate it. A lot of love. You guys are incredible, and I'll catch you guys later.